Wondered how blueprints are made? Because here's how. First, a photographic negative is made of the final desired image. So for example, here I have a negative of one of my PCB designs, which is then placed on a piece of light sensitive paper, which you can learn how to make on my channel, followed by a piece of glass just to hold everything flat against the surface. And then here comes the fun part, the exposure. So I'm gonna hold this 100 watts, 12,000 lumen COB LED over top of this negative here with the sensitized paper for about 3 minutes, and we're gonna see what happens afterward. And 3 minutes of exposure later, here is what the paper looks like. So if I go ahead and lift up this piece of glass here, followed by the negative, you'll see what I really mean by how magical this process is. Just take a look at that. We now have a positive print of our negative image. But there's still one more step, which is developing the image itself. And here is where the magic happens. Just watch this. And after just a couple minutes of rinsing, we now have an authentic blueprint. Have you ever wondered how
Why did the world's tallest teenager purposely fail his basketball career while standing at 7'8"? You see, during his career, Robert Bobrovsky wasn't the best at sports and was running into many issues with his height. He was really vulnerable to injuries and it was just overall impossible for him to play. So instead, Robert recently decided he was going to switch careers using his incredible height for something much different. As now, he's chosen to become an actor and already took a major role in the new movie release for Alien. And yes, this is actually Robert and not just some animatronic. And even though some people are complaining, saying he should have stuck to basketball, do you think he made the right decision? Why did the
Have you ever wondered why there is no bridge between Europe and Africa? The distance between Spain and Morocco is only 14 kilometers, separated. This distance doesn't seem like a big deal, especially when compared to existing projects, such as the 50-kilometer-long undersea channel tunnel between the UK and France, or the world's longest bridge, stretching 165 kilometers in China. So why is there no connection between the two continents? The thing is that the Strait of Gibraltar is extremely deep, reaching up to 900 meters, and strong underwater currents make construction difficult. This depth also creates problems for a tunnel, as the seabed is made up of hard rock, making drilling challenging. To compare, the channel tunnel runs only about 75 meters below sea level. Additionally, the region is highly seismically active, and possible earthquakes could pose a serious risk to the structure. So officially, all these factors make the construction of a bridge or tunnel extremely expensive, making the project economically unfeasible. Have you ever wondered why there is
Snow spray. Color spray. Hey.
The collision of black holes, the idea that you can detect that.
Yeah, they're two black holes, and they were about 30 times the mass of the sun each, and they were orbiting each other and spiraling in towards each other. And they accelerated. At one point, they were approaching each other at 1/3 the speed of light, and they accelerated to 2/3 the speed of light in 1/10 of a second, and then hit each other. And the explosion, the energy release, it was something like 50 times the energy release, the power of all the stars in the observable universe glowing. And it was something like 50 times that amount of energy for a tiny fraction of a second. But it's an unimaginably violent event. So you can imagine how extreme, like a colliding black holes. It's an incredibly extreme event. So it shakes the fabric of the universe, and the ripples come across the universe.
Did you finish the Justice League?
No.
Go.
I'll do it for you. Some people never learn. I guess that goes for androids, too.
I learn, but I also adapt and evolve.
Hey, here I am. No, there I am. Come on, jump over.
Here.
You're just too fast for me, bro.
We are not your enemy. You have all their powers. Use them well.
So you lied to me.
What?
It was all a lie. I can read your mind, Lex.
If that's true, then you know what this is.
Now it's my turn.
Did you finish the Justice?
We have not left low Earth orbit in 50 years.
Well, how come we could do this 50 years ago? They just delayed Artemis again till 2025. How come we used to be able to send rockets up there and we can't anymore? What has happened?
We think of ourselves as pioneers in space, but that's not really how it went down. Russia launched the first satellite. Russia launched the first mammal in space. Russia launched the first human in space. Russia invented the rocket equation more than 100 years ago. Russia did all this, and we said, how can we do something? We said, let's go to the moon. And so we went to the moon before them, and we said, we win. And then we got to the moon, and we learned Russia no longer has the moon on its sights. And so 3 years after we first landed on the moon, we stopped going to the moon. Decades go by. Is anyone else going to the moon? Is there a geopolitical threat? No. The flame was no longer under our buttocks. We have not left low.
A typical bullet will travel at speeds up to 2,500 feet per second. And if you compared it to the fastest missile in the world, you might think that they'd be about the same speed. But the BrahMos 2 missile is not just faster than the bullet, it's actually 7 times faster than the speed of sound. At this speed, the missile would make the bullet look stationary. A typical bullet will travel.
There is no radioactivity.
This is cold fusion?
No. Quantum. Ta-da.
How long will this pump jack run for?
Decades.
How do you scale it? I mean, this is generations ahead of...
Centuries beyond human understanding.
An energy cell?
A prototype.
You built it?
No. Thomas Newton was the architect. I assembled the components.
Totally clean? No radiation, no decay?
But this prototype powered my journey here. It is nearly drained. The 10th design is for a regenerating cell.
It's barely warm.
Our seas boil. To achieve fusion, we need...
You came for water.
Earth is on the same trajectory, facing the same.
Did you know that in the middle of North America, there is literally a ship graveyard? This is Lake Superior, and it's the largest freshwater lake in the world. It is surrounded by Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and the Canadian province of Ontario. This lake is really huge. It covers over 80,000 square kilometers, and its depth reaches up to 400 meters. It could fit an entire European country, like the Czech Republic. Lake Superior holds about 12 quadrillion liters of water, which is so much that it could cover all of North and South America with a 30-centimeter layer, reaching almost to your knee. Around 350 shipwrecks have been recorded on the lake, over 200 of them in the area between Grand Marais and Whitefish Point, known as Graveyard of the Great Lakes. The thing is that Lake Superior is especially dangerous in the fall, when the temperature difference between the water and air creates powerful winds of up to 110 kilometers per hour, and waves can reach 9 meters, turning the lake into a death trap for ships and sailors.
What happens if you take some flash paper and put it into a fire syringe? You absolutely should not do this, but in a previous video when I showed this fire syringe combusting regular cotton by raising the pressure and therefore its temperature, Some people said that I forgot to mention that in order for this to work, the cotton needed to be treated with acid to produce nitrocellulose, the extremely flammable compound that flash paper is made of. However, I didn't mention that because it's not true. Although some other demos can use nitrocellulose, this cotton wasn't specially treated, and for this fire syringe it specifically says not to use flash paper or other fuels for risk of shattering the tube. I will show you what happens when you do use flash paper, but first I'll take some cotton from a regular Q-tip and show you that it still works, as you can see here. Anyway, you absolutely should not try this at home, and extreme cautions were taken to perform this experiment in a safe manner. On the first attempt, all it did was crumple the paper. But then, on the second attempt, it did combust, with by far the largest flame, and it combusted so violently that the piston shot up rapidly and ripped out the screw that was holding it down. What happened if...
Ever thought of slicing a potato as thin as hair? Stick a toothpick on a knife, and you can do just that. Ever thought of slicing a potato as...
When iShowSpeed noticed this soccer jump challenge, he was about to shock everyone, because he told the staff member to place the ball at the same height where Cristiano Ronaldo's record jump is located, so he could find out if he could reach it.
Ronaldo did this height. Okay.
And after the ball was placed 2.96 meters in the air, Speed took a few steps back for his attempt. When
Why is my reflection waving to myself? Well, because this mirror reflects 5 seconds into the future. Oh, so if I wave to myself... Wait, looks like you already did. Now you can see behind you. Whoa, wait, I have a kick me sign? Let me take that off. No, don't. Your future self didn't take it off. Okay, so you have to mimic your reflection or else you're gonna create a paradox. Fine, I'll keep it on. So if this mirror can see into the future, I think I know where this is going. Well, based on my reaction, you're gonna say yes. Yeah, it can see into the past as well. Yes! Woo! I want to see 5 days into the past. All right. All I need is your signature here. Whoa, my future self didn't even read over the contract. Well, you signed it in the future, so you have to sign it in the present. All right, fine. Okay, let me activate the past. What am I doing? It looks like you're writing the sketch that we're in right now. All right, I gotta come clean. I didn't actually sign the contract earlier. I told you to mimic your future or else you'll create a paradox. Wait, does that mean... And now if you don't exist, that means this...